Hey there, it's Miss Barlow. I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but guess what? I've been grading these projects, which has completely consumed my life, but I did feel it was necessary that I stop just to go over what's necessary for tomorrow's quiz. In tomorrow's quiz, we will be celebrating our knowledge about classifying numbers into the real number system. All right, our goals for today is the objective is I can classify numbers based on their fit in the real number system. Our essential question, what is the relationship between numbers and the real number system? And our standard is MA7, accelerated, define the real system composed of rational and irrational numbers. All right, there are some very important vocabulary words that you need to know for the quiz tomorrow. And it is very important that you know and can apply the meaning to different numbers. The first one is natural numbers. And I told you in class that natural numbers are numbers that you naturally learn. When I get ready to teach my little kindergarten boys their numbers, I teach them naturally, starting with 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to forever. Those are our natural numbers. So 7 is an example of a natural number. 12 is an example of a natural number. Now, what if I have -3? Will I teach my kids -3 when they're first learning their numbers? No, I won't. So -3 is not a natural number. So natural numbers, I just want you to remember that these are numbers that are just the positive numbers, simply the positive numbers. All right, the next vocabulary word is whole numbers. Whole numbers are the positive numbers and 0. So it's those natural numbers that I teach my children. And it also includes the number 0. And I think about that 0 there. That 0, that O, always helps me to remember that that whole numbers are natural numbers and 0. So that's something that you need to make sure that you remember as well. The next word is integers. And we've talked about integers. We've even come up with a little jingle for integers. Remember the whole numbers and the opposites, and don't forget the 0. Please don't forget the 0. So integers are when I'm going to start including my negative numbers. So whenever I have my negative whole numbers, my 0 and my positive numbers, those are integers. Those are integers. So 0 is an integer, yes. Positive 17 is an integer, yes. -24 is an integer, yes. -3.2, that is not an integer, okay? They have to be the whole number and the opposites, which are the negatives, and 0. Those are your integers. All right, next we have rational numbers. Rational numbers are all integers. Listen to this. It includes something that we hadn't included before. Fractions and decimals that can be placed in fractional form. Okay? Let me say that again. Rational numbers are all of the numbers that we've talked about so far. It's the integers, the positive, the negative, the 0. Fractions, even negative fractions, decimals, even negative decimals that can be placed in fractional form. So if you don't understand the part about fractional form, I want you to think about this. If you can predict what's next or see the end of the number, it is a rational number, okay? So what I mean by that is 1.5. Of course, it's a fraction, it's rational. 0, rational. -1, rational. 1, rational. 1.5, rational. Even this number, we know what's coming next. We know that 1.5 is repeating. So because we know what's next, it's rational. When you're driving rationally, you know what's coming next. You know where you're going to stop. Okay. So look, even this 0.28, I have the vindiculum at the bottom because I don't know how to put it at the top on this program, but let's just say I have 0.28 with my bar notation or my vindiculum. That's what the technical word for it is. I know what's coming next. I know it's 28, 28, 28, 28, 28. So it's rational because I can predict what's next or see the end. So all of the numbers in the world are rational unless they are irrational. Let's see what irrational means. Did I say irrational? I meant irrational. Excuse me, irrational. Irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be put into fractional form. We cannot predict what's next. These are the numbers that they're all over the place. That's why I'm looking like this on this picture, because we don't know what's next. 3.142354323698032, and it goes on, and I don't know what number is next, and it will continue to go. Those are my irrational numbers. Sometimes we will have let's say we have the square root of 20, okay? I'm not even sure what the square root of 20 is, but if it continues to go on and on and on without repeating, it is considered to be irrational. There is no way that you can have an irrational and irrational, excuse me. Let me try that again. There is no way that you can have a rational and an irrational number. It's either one or the other. So irrational, think about when you're driving in your car or when someone else is driving irrationally. They're all over the place. You don't know what move they're going to make next. So I want you to remember this and apply this when you are taking your quiz on tomorrow. So tomorrow we have our celebration of knowledge. Woohoo! I wish I could have added music there, but anywho, our quiz will be tomorrow, and you will have to classify numbers based on whether it's a natural number, whole number, integer, rational, or irrational number. Now, the real number system, this is the entire system that we are dealing with. So you will have an option. So let's just say, for instance, we have N is for natural, W is for whole, I is for integer, R is for rational, and IR is for irrational. And let's say I give you a number. The number we're going to say is going to be 2, okay? So let's say the number is 2. You will have to write N, because 2 is a natural number, W, because 2 is a whole number, I, because 2 is an integer, R, because we know that 2 is a rational number, and that's it, NWIR. That's what you will have to write, and I will have these labels at the top of your paper. You will basically be given 20 numbers, and if it's just a natural number, you'll put N. If it's just a rational number, you'll just put R. If it's a rational number and an integer, you'll put IR. So that's what the quiz will consist of. It will be 20 numbers. Some of them will be fractions. Some of them will be decimals. I will try not to give you one that require you to pull out your calculator, because of course we hadn't pulled out our calculators yet. So that's all. And I'm excited. I know that you're going to do a phenomenal job. If you have any questions, please see me. I want you to practice tonight. Make sure you go over your vocabulary words so that you will know what these words mean and how to apply them to the number system. Anywho, happy studying. I made this video under 10 minutes and I'm so proud. I will see you guys tomorrow. You have an amazing night. Signing off, Miss Barlow.